Hi everybody, welcome to another video here at Abraham's Table Farm. We are almost at the summer solstice. It's late June and it is really busy. We're feeling super stretched at this point in the season and there's a lot of work. You can see behind me, everybody's out here today doing different things in the garden. We are still prepping beds. We are still planting things. We are trellising and pruning. We're even ripping out some of the earliest crops to turn those beds over for later season crops. The weeds are coming in really fast and strong. Unfortunately, we're a little behind on the weeds. We got behind earlier this spring and now those weeds are bigger, so it takes even more time to hack them back. But we are doing the best we can to get back up on top of it before too long. This point in the season is always a very busy time in the season, and it always feels like it's a little more than we can handle. We just have a lot of growth. Things are growing very quickly. We are doing a little bit of everything. We're doing the first of the trellising and the harvesting and stuff, but we're also doing the last of the prepping and planting and stuff from the early spring, and so everything overlaps and there's just a ton to do. So I'm gonna walk you around, show you the garden, show you what's going on in the garden, what's coming for harvest soon. Might look into the pasture a little bit, but it will be a shorter video today because we are just so busy. So let's go see. The greenhouse still has a lot of plants to go out, and those big ones that you see there are most likely our winter squash. The winter squash should be planted already. We haven't gotten it in the ground. It's getting pretty big in its pots, but we got to get that out. We were even toying with skipping it this year and just scrapping it. We've started all these seedlings, but maybe it's just too much work and not the most important thing. Winter squash is not that profitable for us. We like to have it in the winter. We like to be able to give our customers something in the off season, but it's not the best use of our time, and so it's tempting just to scrap it a little bit. But for now, we haven't scrapped it, and hopefully we'll be able to get it in the ground tomorrow. We'll see how much we get accomplished today. There's more cabbage here. There's tons of more brassicas for the fall that are going in the ground now as well. So a lot of transplanting to do today. Out in the garden, you can see we've got little beets here in the front. We've got carrots getting big. There's some sized up in a tunnel over there. We've got first the greens from early in the spring under this tarp. They're now dying down so that we can put some later crops in there. Miriam is just planting into these beds all the next greens and radishes and stuff. We've got basil in the ground. You know it's summer when basil is ready. More carrots, dill, lots of little things growing. We're ripping more greens out here. The garlic is getting close. We've got scapes. Scapes are going in the boxes this year, and they're starting to scape there. And here is Josh wheel hoeing the pathways. A lot of these pathways are really bushy. We've been mostly staying on top of the weeds in the beds amongst the plants because that's critical and helps with the harvest, but the paths have gotten super bushy and tall because they're just slightly lower priority. But we're trying to catch up right now. So he's going at it pretty heavy. And as we get towards this end of the garden, you'll just see that the paths are bushy. So like right here beside this lettuce mix, the lettuce mix itself was weeded. The path is just a carpet of green right now. We gotta kill that now before it gets any bigger. And you can see these paths here, really bushy. So we're anxious and struggling to get on top of that bushiness now because those were just tiny weeds a week or two ago, and now they're big. You can see some of these paths. This one's been wheel hoed, looks okay. This one has not. And this one is green carpet. Pretty small still right now, so we can kill it, but it's starting to get away from us a little bit. In the tunnels here, we've got our tomato plants. They're looking pretty good. Some of them are big and tall, some of them are smaller. We have white plastic under them this year to help reflect light from the bottom. That just gives them more photosynthesis, keeps it a little bit cool, keeps the weeds down and the moisture in the ground. Even moisture is really important for tomatoes, especially when once they start ripening their fruit, because a big burst of water can cause them to split their tomatoes. So we like even moisture in the soil, and the plastic on the surface keeps the moisture in from evaporating out, and the white reflects the light. Cucumbers in here, we are putting up some fabric on the cucumbers when they're little, because in the past we've had cucumber beetles attack them and they don't do so well, and so we are trying to just cover them early in their life cycle so they can get established and get big, and then we'll remove that once, you know, it's later on in the season, maybe we're harvesting and stuff. they should be able to sustain. So we're just trying to give them a boost because we've had some problems with those cucumber beetles last season or two. But generally things are looking really healthy in the garden. Beets are here. The beets are getting big. They'll be harvested pretty soon. I don't know if you can see how big they are, but they're, you know, that big. And the tops look really beautiful and good. There have been times when there's little dots on them, which is not really a problem, but this year they're just smooth and green, looking really healthy. Potatoes, also a crop that often people have potato beetles on. There's a few on there, but the plants generally are super healthy and resisting them really, really well. So that's a win for us. Brassicas, not having any bug problems. A lot of good, healthy, bright green, vibrant leaves in the garden this year, which is good. We did a bunch of things over the course of the year last year to boost the biologicals in the soil, putting compost on in the fall, inoculating with some other biological things in the fall that were metabolizing over the winter and building up networks of biology that were then available in the spring. So just really dialing in the biology. For several years we've been dialing in the chemistry, the minerals, and getting them balanced, and now we're really focusing, those are basically in place now. We're focusing on the biology and trying to get that fine-tuned, because it's really the biology that feeds the plants more efficiently than the chemistry. The minerals need to be there in order to sustain the life and feed the plants the building blocks that they need. But if we can get a biological community going in the soil, it will combine the chemistry elements in the soil into pre-made parts that the plant can digest, and then it gives the plant a boost. It's ingesting pre-made parts, which gives it more energy to build more complex compounds in its sap, more complex sugars, oils, waxes, the flavors and smells, and also the reproductive functions of the plant, which are kind of higher order functions in any body. And that is often what we're eating. The fruit and the seeds are the reproductive element of the plant. So by boosting the fertility, we're boosting the flavor, we're boosting the nutrition, and we're boosting the bug and disease resistance in our plants. And it looks like it's working. Our plants are very bug resistant, more so. Some of the bugs that we've struggled with in past years are significantly diminished, like the potato beetles over there. And haven't seen much cucumber beetle activity around the cucumber plants. We did cover them just in case, but we haven't seen a lot of beetles anyways. So we might be really taking that fertility up a notch and seeing some of the benefits of that. And of course, those are benefits for you, because that is the nutrition. That is what your body needs to build. If these plants are super well developed, more developed than your average vegetables, and can resist bugs and diseases on their own with no help from sprays and stuff, then you know that you are ingesting plants that have more complex compounds that gives your body the ability, ready-made parts to build itself and heal itself and renew its own vitality. And so that's where true health comes from when you eat your nutritious food. It's directly tied to the complexity of the compounds in the plant that can only be derived from highly complex soil. And we've been working on that for years, and we're seeing the benefits, and that's coming through in your food. And that's not the case with all organic food. I like to really point that out to people. Like, organic is great, no toxic chemicals, that's awesome. But deep nutrition is another step entirely that a lot of people don't take. They just get to the no toxic chemicals level and think that's good enough, and then they substitute in organic sprays and fertilizers and things to help the plant along. But we're trying to get to that next level where the plants are super nutrient dense and then also flavorful for you. And we're kind of getting there. So enjoy the food. We hope it tastes better. We hope it comes through and you can taste that in the food. And we hope you feel good from it too, because it takes a long time to regenerate your body and to rebuild health. If you've been depleted of nutrition for a long period of time, it can take years for your body to rebuild itself. We have plenty of stories of customers who it takes them years before certain ailments or functions return to their body, like positive functions or ailments diminish from their body. It takes a long time to heal. The body, your human body, is extremely complicated, but food is a big part of that. Okay, here I am in the pasture, and a lot of grass growing, things going to seed. which is good somewhat. We don't have our cows here on this pasture. They're at the other location, so this doesn't get grazed as much, which is unfortunate because cow manure and cow grazing is incredibly helpful for soil fertility. But so are chickens. You can see our chickens way back there in the mobile coop and their net fence around them. They're just coming over this hillside into this area. We've been focusing our fertility program on that side of the pasture for the spring, but they're headed this way now. We just move that net fence every week or every other day basically, and move the coop every day. So they're always on fresh ground and have plenty of hunting to do. As you can see behind me and beside me, the grass is tall. It's seeding. I don't know how well you can see that. The grass with its seeds, heads up high. But it's putting out seed and it's growing tall. The chickens love seeds. That's what their grain diet is seeds. And there's lots of bugs in this bushy grass now, and they like bugs as well. So it's a great environment for chickens. They're happy and comfortable out there laying a lot of eggs and ingesting leaf material as well. But the grass growth is also a little bit of a problem because it grows up on the fence, and we got to mow that down so that we can keep the fences hot. We've been starting to have weak electricity in the fences, some chickens pushing out. We saw the pigs testing the fence a little bit, and so we got to get that mowed down so that the charge can go back up and keep them all, both them inside their enclosures, but also keep predators out. The boundary is a two-way thing. It's not just about keeping the animals in, it's also about keeping predators away. So it's important that those fences be hot, and staying on top of that is really critical. But pastures are beautiful right now. Lots of swaying grass in the wind and greenness everywhere. Lots of photosynthesis happening, pumping that energy down into the soil, and it's looking good. Okay, and here I am in the brooder. We've got our fourth batch of chicks here. They are doing really well, not a lot of deaths. And then we've got our third batch of chicks out here that are just about ready to go out on the pasture. They're getting their white feathers, so they'll go out pretty soon. But this is one of those funny things on the farm where we're just getting our first batch of chickens back from the butcher, and we have fresh chicken now for all of you who want to be grilling chicken this summer. But we are almost done with chicks. So our last batch of chicks will come pretty soon in the mail, and then we will be done with the brooder and chicks, and we'll just be raising them out to finish. And that's how kind of it goes with the farm. Just as our customers are receiving the harvests, we are finishing up things. So we're planting winter squash right now. You won't be experiencing winter squash until the fall time, but we're already done by then. So we're always several months ahead of what you as the customer receive. And that's just the funny nature of farming, is that we're thinking way ahead, several months ahead. All of the results of our work are far delayed. And so people often think about farming as this work that gives you very instant satisfaction. Like you weed the bed and it looks better after that. You plant something and you know you've done something good. And while that is true to a certain extent, there's also a significant part of farming that is long delayed, slow, hard work right now that you don't see the results on for years. So the fertility in the pasture is one of those things. Several years of rotating animals again and again and again and around, and then the grass is better years later. Balancing the minerals in the garden, increasing the biological components in the soil, years and years and years of work, and slowly 5-6 years later the bugs are gone. The plants are disease resistant on their own. You see those results years from now. So there's a big element of it that's all investment. So the work we're doing now, the stretching that we're feeling right now in the summer, is hard and it pushes us, but the harvests will come in the fall, and the increase in years to come will be sweet then. So we're looking forward to that. That's all I'm going to show you for today. That's a long enough video. There's a lot of work to be done. Please place orders. Even you CSA members, you can place orders week to week. You can add things to your box. Like I said, chicken is now back in stock. We got tons of ground beef. The vegetables are just coming in. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. We also have an abundance of eggs. Some of our bigger wholesale customers haven't been purchasing as many as we anticipated, so we have extra eggs. You can pass them out to your neighbors. We want to build that relationship and that network of eaters directly with us so that we can produce for them. People have to eat every day, so if we can create consistent, even production and build up a community of eaters to absorb that, then we have a very strong and stable relationship with our community, providing them something that is good and nourishing and gathers people around tables and heals bodies, and that's really satisfying work. So you can help us by spreading the word, placing orders, and getting the word out so that we can feed more and more people as our fertility increases and the abundance around here just increases. But that's all for now. Stay tuned next week as we enter into the downhill side of the year. We are hitting the summer solstice and it will be downhill from here on out. Hard to believe that we're that far along, but I'll see you next time in the video. Stay tuned and see you at the drop site.